This video is going to change your life. Hey everyone, my name is Lisana and today I'll be covering color theory and why it's so important. If you know what colors look the best on you, not only will you feel very confident, but you'll also save tons of money and time when you're shopping. No longer will you buy the next trendy color of the season, then wonder why it looks good on the model and not you. The reason is not you, but the color. Wearing the wrong colors make you appear washed out, sick, and highlight all of your problem areas like under eye circles and make you overall look flat. But it's important to add the disclaimer that color theory is based on the outside. It's not meant to restrict you from wearing colors you want. If you are into warm colors, but warm colors make you look sick, you can still wear them, just as long as it's not near your face. You can use them as accents or accessories and still look your best. And at the end of the day, if you can't be without your favorite color that is unflattering on you, just wear it. Life is too short to not wear the colors you love. In short, color theory is just a way to make you look the most aesthetically pleasing and in harmony with your natural coloring. Before I get into this color theory, it's important to cover the basics. Walk before you run, right? I will teach you the 3 pillars that point you to the most basic theory, which is the 4-color season by Carol Jackson. And once we cover the 4-color season, we can then move on to the 28-color season, also known as ColorBreeze, created by Lori Alexander. Let's get started. The 3 pillars are temperature, value, and chroma. Temperature is related to how cool or warm the color is. The color in the middle is just its natural hue with no warmth or coolness to it. In other words, it is neutral. However, when you add blue to the hue, it turns into a cooler version of the hue. And if you add yellow to the hue, it becomes a warmer version of the hue. Notice how the gray turns into a cooler gray on the left side, and the gray turns into a warmer gray on the right side. Either side will flatter someone who matches the temperature of the gray. And now I do want to show you guys real human examples of this because it's easier to understand once you apply real people into this. So as you can see here, these 2 ladies, which I'm going to cover later on in this video, are the same hue. Let's see if I can make this black and white for you guys so you can clearly see. They are the same shade and hue. The only difference is the temperature. One is cool and the other one is warm. The one on the left, Taylor, she looks very gray and blue compared to Quay, which is on the right. And Quay looks yellow compared to Taylor, which is on the left. And 2 more ladies for you in the lighter version, so I can include everyone. Now let's cover value. Value is related to how much white or black you add to the hue. It goes from deep to light. Again, the middle blue is the true blue without anything added in it. But as you approach the left, more black is added to the blue, creating a darker blue color. And as you approach the left side, more white is added to the hue, creating a lighter blue color. Ideally, a person should match the value of the hue they are wearing to their own to provide a harmonious appearance. And now again, I will insert real life examples of this so you guys can clearly see what I'm talking about. The first one I'm showing you is basically 2 women with the same exact undertone. The only difference is how dark or light the skin is. If you take the person on the left and added black to it, she would pretty much be the same exact skin color as the person on the left. Now let's give you the same exact example, but with 2 women with warm undertones. You can clearly see that both of them have yellow under their skin tone. The only difference is how light or dark they are. If you take the person that is lighter and add black to it, then they will look exactly like, well, the skin will look exactly like the woman on the left side. And that's all I have to say about value. Last but not least, we have to cover chroma. Chroma is related to how soft or clear color is. Clear is a hue with absolutely no gray in it, but as you add more and more gray to the hue starts to become muddy. In other words, it is not as bright anymore. Some people have gray in their coloring. Ideally, the person who has gray or softer appearances in their coloring should opt for a softer, muted version of the color. And now, as you can see in this example, with 2 people in real life, they are the same exact tone or temperature and the same exact hue. The only difference is how soft or clear the coloring is. You can clearly see that the person on the right has clear coloring, and the person on the left has more muddier coloring. You can see that they have more gray in their coloring. I think I used Beyonce for the left side, and on the right side, I'm not sure who that is. It's just a beautiful woman I found on Google because I needed someone for the example, but she is an example of someone who has clear, bright coloring. And I'm going to show you the same example, but for lighter skin, so you guys can feel more included. You can clearly see Katy Perry is the clear, brighter version of the person on the left. They have the same exact hue and tone. The only difference is how much gray or how little gray the person has in their coloring. Now that we have all of that out of the way, we can now discuss the foundation of the ColorBreeze system that I'm going to use to analyze my clients today. The grandmother is the four color seasons theory developed by Carol Jackson. This was created in the 1980s and was a hit. However, the flaw was that it did not consider the fact that temperature, value, and chroma are more nuanced than just one extreme of each pillar, depending on what season you wear. There are a lot more varieties than that, and that resulted in many people not fitting in with their season. Also, since I am a colored woman, I am aware that during this time, all women of color were being chucked in the winter section, since most of us have dark eyes, skin, and hair, but our features are more nuanced than that. And this new color breeze system developed by Lori recognizes that. As you can see in this next clip, there are infinite possibilities in terms of where someone can fit on the spectrum, as each pillar is aligned with billions of points that you can add on them for your own unique analysis. I don't even know if this is the conclusion of color analysis, but I wouldn't be surprised if they added more. But anywho, let's get started analyzing my first client today. Her name is Quay. Hey Quay. The first test we're going to run on her is the cool versus warm test. This is done by draping a fuchsia and orange cloth and comparing the two to see which is more harmonious with the appearance. I will be virtually draping it today, but ideally you want to see them in person to get the most accurate results. Based on her picture, the orange seemed to look the best on her. The fuchsia only made her appear more yellow, whereas the orange makes her stand out and not the color. Now we're going to run the value test. Since we know oranges are color, it's time to split orange into its lighter and darker counterparts. Notice how the dark orange actually looks even better than the original orange, and the light orange kind of washes her out. All of them look good, but the deeper orange looked the best. Now we're going to run the chroma test. Since we know deeper orange looked the best, I'm going to add the next two oranges that are the same, except with adding gray onto them to see if she will look even better with muted colors, or if she shines with bright colors. It turns out that the deep orange without any gray added to her was the best. In conclusion, Quay is a warm autumn. She has very warm features, which eliminated 14 of the seasons, since they are cool. And not only is she warm, she is medium deep, which eliminated even more seasons, as she is not soft. The only two remaining were warm autumn and deep hot autumn. However, deep hot autumn had very dark colors that I think will overwhelm Quay, and I imagine that she would look fantastic in coral, which is a warm spring color. Therefore, her season is warm autumn. Now we're going to be breaking down Taylor. What's up, girl? I could already tell this is going to be an opposite from Quay. I noticed no warmth in her at all. She clearly looks better in fuchsia, but something seems off. Both fuchsia and orange are too bright on her. Now let's see what happens when we added a tinted and shaded version of the fuchsia. She does look a little better and in place with the lighter fuchsia. Now let's run the chroma test. I think she looks best in the muted fuchsia in the middle. In conclusion, Taylor is a smoky, soft summer. She has very soft coloring, and I find that colors that are too bright or deep are going to be too overwhelming on her. You notice the color first before you notice her, but when we added white and gray to the color, it looked harmonious with her coloring, and you notice her before the colors with them. And now we finally get to cover my beautiful best friend. Her name is Gabby, and I love her. Let's see. This is actually hard. She seems to have cool brown hair, warm brown eyes, and a cool undertone with a warm overtone. This actually had me staring at the picture for a minute because usually either warm or cool is dominant, but it wasn't with her. I had to stare for a while, even with the fuchsia and orange test. The orange didn't look bad on her, but I did notice the fuchsia made her skin shine, so we're moving on with that. Now the value test. Since she has super high contrasting, I think she looks best with the deepest version of the fuchsia. It follows her natural contrasting well. And finally, the chroma test. I was surprised, but I actually like the middle muted color best. Both muted and not muted looked good, but with the normal fuchsia, it was a little too bright, and you saw the color before her. The middle fuchsia results in seamless harmony. In conclusion, she is a toasted soft winter. What made me confused is that she is actually quite warm, but for some reason, orange didn't cut it. It is because she is dominantly cool, but she is warmer than any other winter season. Therefore, she can actually get away with some of the autumn colors, like pine green, for instance. Also, soft just means slightly soft in this case. Ideally, clothes that are cool with a hint of warmth, are deep, and are mostly clear are what is best for her, as light ashy colors will wash her out. Last but not least, Ashley. The first thing I noticed about her is that she has intense coloring in her eyes, skin, and hair. I also noticed that she is slightly warm. The yellow is peeking through a bit, and I'm intrigued. Y'all know by now that first we're going to test the fuchsia and the orange next to her. The fuchsia looked better on her, while the orange just sits there and makes her face look flat. Now it's time for the value test. When I see all three next to her, I actually like the truest original fuchsia on her the best. The deep fuchsia brings her down, while the lighter one drains the color out of her. Now the chroma test. Muting the color out is definitely not a good idea for her. As the color gets more and more gray, the life gets taken out of her. In conclusion, she is a deep winter. Deep winters are the most intense out of all the winters. All winters rock black and white, but deep winters own it. They much prefer vivid, clear, and cool deep colors, but they can borrow some colors from the deep autumn palette and still look breathtaking. And that was the end of my analysis. I hope you guys found this information helpful in deciding what season you're in. Let me know your thoughts on this video. Do you agree with my analysis? Do you find this topic interesting? Need any help finding your season? Let me know. And also let me know if you guys like this new format. I only filmed it like this because I just didn't feel good. I stayed up all night filming this video, and now I'm a bit tired and washed out. But let me know if you guys like this audio version of the video, and thank you for watching. I'll see you next week. Bye.